Hello, friends. I feel like the camera thing is blurry this morning. And this is morning instead of evening. Hold on just a second. You're just going to see this. I know that's not very pretty, is it? I don't know. Huh. Well, anyway, good morning. It is Denise from Loving Life at 60ish. And my Etsy shop is fairyrosecottage.etsy.com. I'm here early because I'm going to pick my grandson up at school. I did that last Friday too. I usually do it every single Friday. He gets out of school early on Fridays, and so I pick him up. Some Fridays he stays overnight. Some Fridays he doesn't. Depends on his mom's schedule. And we obviously have not been able to do that since April, when my husband went in the hospital. We decided that the staying overnight was not a good idea because it was an emergency that morning, and it was a Saturday morning, and luckily Eli wasn't here with us, and it made us uncomfortable enough to know that probably we needed to kind of back off from that. But I missed him terribly, and I think, I can't speak for Scott, but I believe Scott did too. And I still picked him up on Fridays, but it wasn't every Friday anymore. Sometimes we had cancer care on Friday, or scans, or just Scott wasn't feeling well, or Eli had a cold. And so anyway, we're trying to get back into the schedule of me picking him up. And it occurred to me, this is not a scheduled overnight, but I believe him and my son are going to stay overnight tonight. And so I figured I better do this now instead of, because I can't do it once I get my grandson. So I am going to do the yearlies, and I'm going to explain to you how I'm doing that this time in just a minute. But I wanted to share with you, and this is about Scott and I. And, I know a lot of you are very appreciative of hearing about our journey. And this that I'm going to read you is fairly pragmatic. I think that's the right word. It's more of what I've learned in the last month. And yesterday was a month since he had passed away. My husband passed away on the 23rd of December. I was born on the 23rd of February. We got married on the 23rd of April. My grandson's birthday is the 23rd of August. And our beloved sister-in-law passed away on the 23rd. So, and I've always felt like the 23rd was something. And it did not dawn on me until yesterday that he passed away on the 23rd. But I had written a post on Facebook yesterday. And I just want to read it to you. I think, this is what I've learned mostly since he passed away. It is not everything I've learned. After I wrote it, I thought, oh, I should have mentioned this and I should have mentioned that. And I will eventually, because we have been very transparent on our Facebook page and with our families about this journey. We never posted anything on Facebook until we were sure our immediate families, meaning our kids, his siblings, my mom, my stepmom, all knew what was happening first. And then we would post on Facebook. We, meaning me, because my husband didn't even know how to turn the computer on. He didn't have any want to know, but he always knew what I was writing on Facebook. And so we were as transparent as possible, although closer towards the end, I held a lot of things really close to my heart. And I chose not to share them on Facebook. And whether I will, I don't know. Maybe some things, maybe not. But I wrote, today it has been a month since Scott passed away. He would want me to tell you all the things I have learned in this month. As you know, we were pretty transparent from the beginning of this journey, and we had talked about continuing that after he passed away, if I felt comfortable. Here are just a few things. He wished he had gone on hospice just a little sooner than he had. He wished he had done it around the time we discovered he had had a stroke. He didn't go on hospice, by the way, because he felt like at that time, because he felt like he would be letting us down, which I found out later as we talked. He was on hospice 2 days over 2 weeks. Our belief as a family is that he had done all he could and he was ready. We weren't ready. I didn't write that on there, but I don't think you're ever ready. We have not heard from hospice since the day after he passed away. Christmas Eve, our nurse came to dispose of meds and check in with us. And that's it. We have not heard from hospice since, which I find very odd. When the funeral home came to pick him up, they had a lovely handmade quilt to wrap him in. So again, I put that there because we're always looking for something to use our talents for. If you are a quilt maker, make a beautiful quilt for your funeral, your local funeral parlor or funeral home, to use instead of, the classic white sheets or whatever. It warmed our hearts to see him leaving our house with a nice warm quilt over him. I watched and he listened to the Waltons right up till the end and afterwards. We watched an episode after he'd passed away while we waited for hospice. I am still unable to hear the theme song of the Waltons without crying and feeling such an ache in my heart. We have heard from palliative care, the nurses in the infusion department, and his amazing oncologist and her team. That has meant so much to me. If you're a doctor or in the cancer, if you are in that field at all, it really meant the world to me that they reached out. And, we got cards from the different departments, and some people have called. Scott and I and the kids acknowledge that life was not always easy over these 32 plus years. But Scott turned himself around quickly in the year and a half we had together, and we were able to forgive each other. And for that, we will always be grateful. But I am so very angry that we didn't have more time. And that is that whole thing about you can feel grateful and angry. You can feel sad and joy, and we forget those things. Lots of things make me cry. I feel very anxious. Most days, I'm not sure how to do this life without him. If you are married, put everything in both names except the medical bills. Everything, you guys. Really go through your list of what you pay for separately and together. And if you want that to switch over to you or to him or her, if you pass away, put it in both names. It took an act of Congress to cancel his prepaid cell phone. We thought we had changed everything, but forgot the cell phone and one other thing. So far, that's what we've come across. But because everything was either in both our names or just my name, except for his medical bills, those were only in his name. We did not have to go through probate. There was no estate. Things weren't that wasn't tied up. There's a lot of other things that are tied up, but everybody has been helpful and kind. Most don't know what to say, and that is perfectly okay. I appreciate when people say his name and acknowledge what a loss this is. Scott and I are blessed with the best kids we could ever ask for. They have been with us every step of the way, including our son-in-law, grandson, and Nate's girl. Have yourself a tribe of friends. I am so very grateful. I am messy right now. Right this minute, I am messy. I cry. I don't want to do stuff or go places. And then I don't want to be home. I can't make up my mind. Sometimes I just want to be told what to do. After a loss like this, schedule a doctor's appointment just because. You haven't been taking care of yourself. There's been no time. Now is the time. I saw my new doctor yesterday. We were blessed with a man who knew that I would hold on to his things. For example, a closet full of clothes that mattered nothing to him. And so he talked Nate and Mario into helping him clean it out while he was here on Earth. The bottom line is he was right. I would have hung on to everything. This way, I have a few really important mementos. Although there's still a lot to go through, but the closet was a big thing. Not all your friends and family will be comfortable with the messiness that your life has become after losing a spouse. It's okay. Just be sure to surround yourself with those who can feel comfortable with the messiness, or at least sit with you through the messiness, but no judging those who can't. I do find myself being critical sometimes, and then I have to remember, wait a second, we're not all cut out for sitting with someone who is grieving. Get your will in order. Have an advance directive. Be clear with your immediate family about what you want. Go to your funeral home, set everything up, and pay for it if you can. Have a cemetery plot. Pick out the urn you love. Have someone write your obituary before you die and read it. Those are all things that Scott chose to do. After losing a spouse, you take on everything. The things he used to do, the things you always did. I am trying to give myself some grace, but there is still so much to learn. There are so many more things to tell you. Some days I feel strong enough to share. Other days I want to hold on to everything so tightly and not share a thing. I am sad, tired, grateful, angry. Any given moment brings on a new set of feelings. I am looking for glimmers that Scott said he would show so that I and others would know he is still here to help. These glimmers give me hope. They help a bit with the Scott-sized hole I have in my heart. We continue to be so grateful for those of you who have followed along with our journey. Hugs. This is obviously Scott and I. It was probably a year before he was diagnosed, I think. Yeah, I think a year before he was diagnosed. And we were at a restaurant. So I just wanted to share that. I did tell you all that I would share pieces as I go along of, obviously what I feel comfortable sharing, what I can share. And I hope that it's helpful for you now. I mean, hopefully those were kind of things that we should all be thinking about, right? But also things we don't think about. I mean, we thought we had figured out, we thought we had talked through everything and have found that that is not necessarily true. That there are, things that are popping up that are harder to navigate than either one of us thought they would be. So there's that. Okay, this is I'm going to switch gears completely. This is my yearly ones, the ones that pop up and scare the heebie-jeebies out of you, right? Because all of a sudden, freaking Amazon Prime takes that $139.99 out of your account. That happened last week. And when I went to check my account, I was like, wait, what? Why is it that low? And then I looked, and Amazon Prime had taken it out. So what I know is I have an Amazon Prime one here. Right there. And it did say it was going to happen in January. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I have $150. And we're going to just kind of go through first to see where we're at. So the property taxes are due at the end of... the end of March. It was August. And I do not see this getting cleared up by the end of March. And what I need is half of this amount for the end of March. $1,840. So, but what I will tell you is Scott saw back in August when we paid half of this that we were going to need that other half in March. And so he put that money away and told me about it later. The property taxes are all set for March. Here's where the money is. Take it down to the town office, in January if you want, and get it paid. So I am just going to keep muddling through this one. And actually, I'm going to erase that March now that I just thought of that. And I'm going to put August because that's when it will be due again. And I hopefully will be able to save enough for August. This one is the generator and the furnace serviced. And it will be due in the fall. And I am almost done with this. So that's pretty cool. We had the generator serviced and the money just came out of our account basically as a regular bill this last time in November. And so I'm going to continue to play this to finish it. Propane, I just had to pay a boatload of money to have the tanks filled back up after the generator. The propane runs our generator. So when the power goes out, cha-ching, basically. So I just wrote now, and I want to obviously continue to work on this one. Heating oil, they just came this morning, and the bill was $659. Now, I don't have $659 in here. I think I have $340 in here. So half, a little over half, right? So we're going to keep on with that one. Obviously, we're going to keep on with all of them, but I paid the yearly bill. The vet bill, I just went ahead and paid it out of my savings challenges that, I'd had some fur baby savings challenges, and I just took it out of there. So this one is due in December, and it was a little over $600. So if I can get the $600 saved, that will be helpful. Amazon Prime, it's all set till next year. But what I mean, I wouldn't mind finishing this and putting it back into our home account, because that was a big chunk. So I think that I'm going to do that today and then deposit it in the home account. Shopify comes out in March. I don't know what to do. I have not used my Shopify website in a year and a half. I do not believe I'm going to go back to all dressed up couture the way I was doing it. I'm sort of muddling through what I'm going to do with my dress up clothes business. It was a lot. It was a lot of time and energy. And to run that and to run this business would be my life. And I don't want my life to be that anymore. And I want to be in this business. This is what I want to do. Because I don't see it just as a business either. But I have a lot of stuff to sell off. I mean, this room is chock-a-block full of tulle and fabric and flowers and blah and blah and blah, 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 you know. So I will need to come to terms with that. And I might use the Shopify website to help with that. It is $363 a year. I could, of course, put my savings challenges up there, and I have thought about that. So I'm just sort of mulling around what I'm going to do. So I'm going to keep this and try to get to the $400 mark by the end of March. Canva comes out in April, and it is done. And I think, did I save it in here? Yeah, it's in here, ready to go when I need to deposit it into my account. Car registration is due in June. And so I obviously need to keep up with it. So there's what it is. And I feel like the one that I really want to finish right this minute is Amazon Prime. And what did I say? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So I've got a lot of 20s here, guys, for this one. Oh, and this money, this money is from the home budget. I decided to use it instead of what I would normally do it for, because I didn't really have a lot of minis that were done that I could put towards this. And I really wanted to make sure I got some money into this month. I am still struggling, like so struggling with a budget. That was one thing that I wished that Scott and I had, when he could still think clearly enough, that we had really sat down and looked at and figured out how things were going to go. I will tell you, one of the things I wished I'd written on that list yesterday was have yourself a good financial person. I cannot tell you the relief I have felt with meeting with our financial guy every week since Scott passed away. He has been huge. He sits there and helps me. Just sits there while I make these phone calls. He looks at things differently. I mean, the first thing he said to me was, when I sat down, "You are going to be all right. because this is what you and Scott worked towards. And Scott made sure you were going to be all right. And he's right. You know, there's, it just, I know he's right, but it's not showing up yet. we have discovered that the pensions that were deposited into the account the beginning of each month, that they're taking those back for January and February, because February's is going to be deposited and they couldn't stop it. And until things get straightened out, and then, you know, obviously I will receive it again, but I'm lucky that I saved some money, you know, from savings challenges. And though they were earmarked for certain things, they are no longer earmarked for certain things. They are earmarked for survival until all of the financial stuff gets straightened out. And we're looking at that being 4 to 6 months out. So we're looking at it, you know, hopefully clearing up between April and June. That's a lot of income to lose and to have to navigate. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I am very grateful for our finance guy. Very grateful. Okay. We are going to put, I'm going to roll a dice to see what color. Blue. We are going to put, come here, little blue, little blue. $11 in. Of course, we don't have $11, but let's see if we can get. I, as always, would love to hear what your yearly fees are that sneak up on you. So we need $9. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll put that in. Because I feel like I'm missing things sometimes. And I mean, I will know, obviously, because, you know, January 1st, right? Things start rolling in. And I did start on my phone putting in the calendar, like I put that property taxes, I put at the beginning of March that they're due the end of that month. And I made it reoccurring. So I hope that that will help me. I will tell you that Scott did all that stuff. I mean, I paid the bills and I told him how much money we had and everything, but he was the one that remembered that things needed to happen. You know what I mean? He was the one that remembered that the property taxes were coming due. So we have 6. We don't have any 4s. I was going to do 10. I guess I'll do 11. So I have to remember those things. Just as I have to remember, let's see if there's a 10 in here. You know, that my credit card bill is due on such and such a day, or, you know, a certain time of the month or whatever. Things like that. I mean, he never told me about that because it was my credit card. It was, you know, in my name and everything, but I did a reoccurring thing on my calendar for that too, to remind me each month that it was time. But I would love to hear what you come up with. We're going to do 20 in the propane. The nice thing is let's see, $320. And depending on if we have a big storm or not, 320 will be a good chunk towards the next propane delivery, which is nice. I'm going to do 20 in this one also. I feel like this one, even though it says now, it's going to be for next year's, next winter's heating, because it's going to take a while, right? But like I said, I'm basically in my savings challenge account. I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul, so to speak. Like it, a lot of things were for holidays or the animals or, whatever I was saving for, and taxes, right? And I am just doing what I can and using the money. That's $10. Using the money and hoping that I can save money and put it back in. Oh dear. This is broken. Look at that, it's broken. So I do hope that, boy, there's a lot of ones in here. No, I don't need 25. I need $10. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I still am struggling with how much I'm going to be able to take from, whoops, I didn't put that in, from my income to budget. But I feel like I'm going to sort of fly by the seat of my pants for a while on that one. And so I'm just going to barrel through my savings challenges and figure out which ones I'm going to do right now. And because I've been putting it off, it's now the end of January. I have no goals, so to speak. My goals right now are just to get through all of the phone calls and paperwork that has to be filled out and such. So there's Canva. That one's done. Car. And we know this is going to sneak up on me. And I only did 250. So I really feel like I might need to extend that a little bit. We're going to do 20 in here. I know it's not until June, but June will sneak up on us. So anyway, I'd be very appreciative of you sharing what yearly fees sneak up on you. Some of you have done that before, and so I would just love to hear what you have. Now, fall, August. So this one, the Shopify one, is a big one because it is going to come up, and it's $363 plus my domain, which I think is $10 or $12. So let's see what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unless I choose to cancel it. What is this? Each one is 5, so we'll do 2 more. That finishes that off. That's 150. That's, well, it's not halfway there, is it? As I go, that's halfway there. Oh, dear. Okay. And then the other one that I think I would, okay, June is, and then August, and that one's fall. And this one is now, and December, January. Okay. We have not much left, 5, 10, 11, and $2. Well, here's the problem is none of that works. 10, it's $13, and they're all either 5s or 10s. Oh wait, maybe we can do this. $13. We can, you guys. I know I still got some time on this. It's not until fall, but holy cow, you guys, we can do 5, 10, 11, 12, 13. We can do it. I'm going to color in this 10 though, instead of doing 5s. 10 and 13. Oh, when I made this one for my pal, I thought, yeah, I will never do this one, saving $500. Honestly, guys, I would do this one again and again and again. And you are going to see another brick wall with the same numbers, but a different theme coming up, because I just feel like, you know, I mean, granted, there's 20s and there's 10s, but there's also 2s and 3s and 5s. It's really doable. So I'm excited about that. Okay, guys, that is it for this book. And I do feel better because, like I said, you know, when I figured out the finished savings challenges for last month, I only had one that I could put into here. And I did that day. So I'm glad that I used the household savings money for this time. I won't do that often, but you know, I forgot we finished a challenge and I have no more money. So this IOU goes up to $3, and this money actually is going to go into this too. But not yet. I see that I have some more room there. I think I'm going to take this money, turn it into the bucks money, the savings bucks. Where is my savings bucks book? My savings bucks book. And put bigger bills in this, but we will figure that all out, guys. Okay, I'm going to go get ready to pick up my grandson, and this will probably post at the normal time later today. And because I will have him and my son overnight tonight, and then I'm going with my daughter and grandson tomorrow for the day, I probably won't get a video in tomorrow. And then I'm not even sure what Sunday looks like for us yet. Nobody's talked about plans yet, so we'll figure that out. Okay, guys, thank you for listening to what I wrote yesterday, and just simply for being here. I love you all. Take good care of yourselves, as I am trying to do for myself. And some days I fail miserably, just so you know. And then other days I feel some success. I will see you real soon. Happy savings.